Okay guys, so we're back at it. It's been a minute, but I'm back from work now, so it's good. Just like clear some of this shit of the way here. As most of you know, I fix a lot of equipment for landscapers and arborists and everything else, and I have not had 5 minutes to myself to do absolutely anything besides turn around and piss into the wind. But today we're going to take this guy apart and see what we got in there. See if we get that thingamabobber off there. You're just pulling them. My fingernails are long enough. Seems most people are really interested in my fingernails. Fucking weirdos. Anyways. Carburetor's already loose. So we got... Oh. That's a Force FC carburetor from Taiwan. Those are actually pretty good. And let's see what we got in there. So, some of you guys know that... well, obviously, there's a 3.3 rod, 2.5, 2.5R rod, all the same. And someone on eBay had said that, and I also have seen it before, that there was a serial rod, not cereal, but serial rod that would fit the 3.3 and 2.5. And I did see somebody on Facebook that had one, and I messaged the seller, and he said, oh yeah, the S18 rod will fit the 3.3. Well, in fact, it does not. If we line up carefully... Let's see, 3.3 rod's actually quite a lot longer, so bummer. Anyways, but I did message the seller and say, hey, I think I paid, what was it, 13 bucks or something like that for that rod, so not very much. And he says, oh shit, I screwed up, let me give you a refund on that. So I'm like, all right, perfect. So got my cash back and a rod that I can't use for nothing. Well, maybe one day we'll find a serial or something like that. Kind of irritating, but I was looking forward to that too. Thought, oh yeah, serial connector rod. I'm going to make a 3.3 rod. I just haven't had any time to sit down and do anything because, like I said, it's been really busy for me lately. Working on stuff and getting people sorted out and ordering parts and this, that, and the other. Okay, so there's our starter shaft. Some of these did have an O-ring that went in there, but this one doesn't. Oh, maybe this one does. Yeah, it's real hard to see it, but if you look right there, there's actually no ring in there. That's actually a nice little feature. Helps to seal the backplate a little bit. And this will also have a starter pin right here. There's a spring and a pin. Oops, where are we at? I can't see. There's a spring and pin right here. Do not lose that pin, otherwise you won't be able to start it. A lot of HPI motors are like that too. I've had people go, oh yeah, I took my engine apart and now it won't start. I'm like, well, what do you mean it won't start? They're like, oh, it won't turn over. I'm like, well, did you lose the pin? What pin? That's the pin. Oh shit. Well, luckily there's a lot of other engines that use the same one. And if you lose a spring, take yourself an old Bic lighter and take it apart and kind of finagle with the spring until you get it to work for you, and you can fix them up that way pretty easy. So yeah, one more screw left. Yeah, I got a couple other videos here. I got that big rod I got to take apart, that OS VG21, and that other AE8 or 15 or whatever it is. So I got a few other vids here to do, but like I said, I just haven't had 5 minutes to do anything. So those are the way. 2-piece cylinder head. There's our head button. This might be a 12. That's pretty small. And this engine probably doesn't have any pinch or anything left, but we'll see. There's our head gasket. Awful thin. Sometimes there's more than one of them, so make sure you pay attention. And sometimes you get lucky, and this one's going to need propane. So I'll be right back. Oh yeah. Little bit of heat. Yeah, I've had a couple of people going, man, when are you going to go out and make some bashing videos? Well, it's like I keep telling everybody, it's winter. My bashing area is a lake currently, so I don't have a boat. but yeah, I don't plan on going out anytime soon until that's cleared up, because there's absolutely nowhere that I can go that isn't absolutely flooded or completely full of mud. Well, I run in the mud too. You know, well, if it's 2 feet deep of liquefied diarrhea, then I don't think you do. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, there's that little pin that I was talking about. That doesn't really want to move just yet. So we're going to heat that up a little bit more and I'll be right back. Alright, there we go. My grandmother have a mint. Just pushing up on it with the bottom of a piece of wood. Like a chopstick or anything will really work fine. Ugh. That spring is still in there, so I gotta make sure we don't lose that. And let's pop off that connecting rod here. So we're gonna look at this for a minute here. Oops, it's hot. Okay, so we're gonna look at our rod. We're just going to take, there's a screwdriver, I'm just going to put a little witness mark on there, just so we remember exactly what way it goes in. Because people do that all the time, they take out connecting rods and pistons and go, oh fuck, what way did it go back in? Because see this one right here, real easy to put it in the wrong way. So look at our crank, will that come out? And it did. Oh, that's different. Look at that. New things. Okay. So it appears what they've done here, this is really neat, is they've taken, there's usually an oil groove, right? In most cranks. Not all of them have it, but some of them do. And that's designed to trap the fuel and oil here, so it'll actually make a gasket, since your front bearing doesn't actually really seal the engine. So what they did was went, oh, let's put an O-ring there to maybe help seal the engine up a little bit. That's something I've never seen done before. That's new things for me. Huh. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's have a look here, shall we? Here, piston. Ooh, still nice and hot. Yeah, it's pretty much worn out. Like I said, if you push the piston up and it goes like barely halfway up the sleeve, like about there somewhere, and it just stops, you're good. But if it goes all the way up to the top, and you can uncover the exhaust port with the bottom of this piston skirt, yeah, you're worn out. So this piston and cylinder shot, but that's okay. I don't even know what brand this engine is. I think it's a Force. I mean, just judging by the starter shaft and all that kind of stuff, it's looks very similar to a lot of the other ones I've taken apart. I'll let this cool down here for a minute and I'll be right back. Alright, well, anyways, cool enough to touch it now, but the inside of the block looks like any normal 3-port style block. It's actually nice to see what they've done in here, because a lot of engines like this, this 18 here, there's actually only 2 transfer port slots that are open, although the sleeve has 3 ports in it. So technically they're only running in a 2-port design, where they've actually gone in here and see exhaust port there. There's one transfer. There's a second one. There's a third one. So you can see all 3 of those. Lighting's not very good, but you can, oh, there we go. You can see all 3 of them. 1, 2, and 3, and then there's the exhaust. Now if we grab this other block here, you can see there's the exhaust, which is right. There's the exhaust. 1 transfer, nothing, 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 the other. So there's only 2 for a 3-port sleeve, which is kind of the shit. So basically what's happening here is you're not using this one, you're only using left and right transfers. This one's basically blocked off by the block, whereas this engine here, they have all 3, so you're actually utilizing all 3 ports, which is that's a nice little design there, actually. Yeah, I don't know why they do that. I'm thinking maybe just to cheap out and whatever else, but Yeah, that thing is pretty well fucked. I mean, that quick release motor mounts cracked and busted right in half in two. NFG, no good at all. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah, they're gonna stick her back together here real quick. And obviously, if I was gonna run this engine, I'd go in here and clean out all this and change out the bearings and whatever else. I'm gonna ask me, well, how do you know what size bearings an engine takes? Well, take them out and measure them. Get yourself a good digital micrometer, or do a little bit of math, and you know, pay attention, right? But also, like I was saying, there's that spring that's in there where that pin goes through. Where's that little pin at? Right here. So that's a little starter pin that grabs on your back plate, and see how it's spring loaded? Well, a lot of people, or what'll happen is this will get varnished and it'll stay in there and you can't get them out. And what you do is you pop your crank out, you take a pin and you push it through the back here and it'll pop that out. Make sure you do it over a paper towel or something so you don't lose it. I see people in the RC groups all the time, oh fuck, I lost it, or what do I do here, and blah blah blah, no, I'm screwed now. And it's like, oh no, you're not completely screwed. Just, you know, take your time, pay attention, and all will be just fine, I promise. Yeah, I think this is a Force 12 or a Force 15, or I don't know, judging by the piston sleeve, I'm imagining it's probably a 12. But we got our scratch on our connecting rod. So remember, that faces out. So that way, we know exactly what way it goes back together. Like so. Then we take our sleeve, push our piston down. We know our exhaust port's the big one. Then we take our sleeve. We just kind of play with a crank. Make sure again that you do not lose that pin, otherwise you'll be screwed. You can buy another one, but or you can make one if you're crafty. And where's our back plate? Fuck me, sideways, can't think today. Just smear everything with a little bit of oil, just keeps things from getting rusty. These ones will line up by themselves, so don't worry about it. Don't forget your O-ring to go on there, so that's important. And then you'll hear it click in one direction and grab in the other, so that's normal. Yeah, I figured I'd like to get into some more RC videos as soon as the weather gets better, driving them and running stuff and whatever else. And like I said, it's just not been in my cards lately. You have every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry bringing you broken chainsaws and weed whackers and water pumps and gen sets and everything else. I won't bother trying to film any of that because it's just too tedious and takes too many hours, and I don't have enough space on my cell phone to even think about doing that. So click, click, and click, and click. Yep, there we go. Turns over nice. Nice crankcase vacuum. Pop, pop. That's good. That's really neat to see the O-ring on the crank like that. I've never seen that before in any engine I've ever worked on. What do you guys reckon? You think the glow plug's going to still work? Let's see. Hey, look at that. It still works. Cool. That's an awful thin head gasket. It's probably shimmed for overseas use or something like that, where they run 16% and you need higher compression. This is a non-directional cylinder head. If you have a cylinder head like this, right, and you install your engine in your truck, and the direction of the truck is forward, and the cylinder head's facing this way, the air is not really going to pass over it very well. So usually, if your engine's traveling this way, it's to undo your cylinder head and point it this way, so these fins are facing the direction of travel. That way, the air will blow through the fins and through the center of the head and actually cool your engine better. So just something to keep in mind if you didn't know that. Now you do. Because a lot of people just stick their heads on any old way and it doesn't really matter to them, but it actually does. Hence the reason why they don't put the radiator in the back of your car. They put it in the front. Unless you own something that's really fucking strange, but yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, this guy's just going to sit in the bin for God knows how long. Maybe I might find parts for it, maybe not. I have no idea. So I think this is probably a Force 12. I don't think they make these anymore. But if they did, I'd definitely like to run one. Maybe one of you guys out there have one of these. And know a little bit more about it than I do. And there we go. Set for the bin. The old engine bin there. Anyways, guys, hopefully you found that interesting. If you did, right on. If you didn't, well, too goddamn bad. Anyways, so Mystery 15, I'm thinking it's a Force 12 or Force 15. One or the other. Redhead. Kind of a neat looking little motor. Anyways, guys, as always, thanks for watching. And keep on burning nitro out there. Cheers.